In 1999, two illegal treasure hunters dug a bronze disc out of a hillside near Nebra, Germany, using nothing more than a metal detector and a shovel in the dark. By the time Basel police recovered it in February 2002, almost 3 years later, the disc had already passed through the hands of black market dealers who had no idea what they were actually holding. What those looters pulled out of the ground that night is a flat bronze disc, a little over a foot across, its surface inlaid with gold shapes that have never stopped being argued about since. A bright gold circle sits near the top, generally read as the sun or possibly the full moon. Beside it curves a slender gold crescent, unmistakably a moon in its early phase. Scattered across the bronze are 32 gold points standing in for stars, and tucked among them is a tight cluster of 7 that most researchers read as the Pleiades, the same star cluster ancient cultures across multiple continents independently tracked for planting and harvest timing. Picture the disk as it was originally made, just the sun or moon, the crescent and the stars, nothing else on its dark green bronze surface. Later, someone added 2 curved gold arcs along the disc's edges, and later still, a gold boat-like shape appeared at the bottom, along with a row of small holes punched around the rim. One of those horizon arcs is now missing entirely, either lost or deliberately removed centuries before it ever reached a museum case. Those horizon arcs are the reason this object gets called an astronomical instrument rather than just decorative jewelry. Stand at the actual hill in Germany where it was buried, watch the sun rise and set across an entire year, and one leading interpretation holds that the gold arcs correspond closely to the range between the sun's horizon positions at the solstices at that location. Whoever buried this object, roughly 3,600 years ago, appears to have been tracking exactly where the sun rose and set across the seasons, and building a physical record of it in bronze and gold. One especially striking interpretation goes further. Researcher Ralph Hansen proposed that the disk encodes a rule for keeping a lunar calendar lined up with the solar year, essentially deciding when to insert an extra month so the two calendars would not drift apart over time. It is a genuinely compelling reading of the object. But archaeologists still debate exactly how the disk was used, and this remains one influential hypothesis rather than settled fact. The dating itself has real, ongoing debate attached to it too. The disk was never radiocarbon dated directly, since bronze cannot be dated that way. Instead, its age comes from the hoard it was buried alongside, including bronze swords, axes, and armbands, dated through typology, metal analysis, and organic material found with them at the site, all pointing to roughly 1,600 years before the Common Era, the early Bronze Age. In 2020, a group of researchers publicly challenged that timeline, arguing for a date almost 1,000 years later in the Iron Age. Archaeologists at the Austrian Academy of Sciences and elsewhere pushed back hard, defending the original Bronze Age dating with further analysis of the excavation record. The institutional and scholarly position today still favors that earlier date, but the challenge itself was real, and honest coverage of this object has to include it rather than pretend the debate never happened. What makes the object's survival remarkable is how badly it could have been lost forever. The two men who dug it up in 1999 had no legal right to excavate the site, and no interest in its scientific value, only its resale price. For nearly 3 years, it moved through black market dealers, each one further separating it from any record of exactly how it had been found. German police recovered the genuine disc in February 2002, arresting the dealers in a hotel room in Basel. It now sits in the State Museum of Prehistory in Halle, Germany, its actual legal owner, where it has been displayed and studied ever since. German heritage authorities and UNESCO now describe it as the world's oldest known concrete depiction of cosmic phenomena, a specific, careful phrase chosen deliberately, since broader claims about accuracy or absolute age go further than the evidence actually supports. What survives is a bronze disc that 2 looters almost erased from history entirely, carrying what may be the oldest deliberate attempt anyone has ever made to put the sky itself into a physical object you could hold in your hands. If a bronze disc dug up by looters ended up rewriting how old we think structured skywatching actually is, that's worth sitting with for a second. Like this video if the lunar calendar theory caught your attention, and tell me in the comments, do you think the Bronze Age dating holds up, or does the 2020 challenge have a point? And subscribe for more mysteries history has never fully explained.